Joining me in studio right now, Justice Michael Massengale, who is running for Texas Supreme Court. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Chad. It's great to be here with you in person this time.
Yeah, great to have you in, and I know you've been spending some time over at the convention that's here in town. While you've been in Lubbock, who all have you been meeting and talking to, and what's the feedback been like?
It's been great. It's great for Lubbock, and your Lubbock Republican women here. They've put on a great convention, and really the whole state's Republican leadership is here. Just spent this morning with Attorney General Paxton, and last night with Governor Rick Perry, who appointed me initially as a judge over 6 years ago. So it's a great opportunity to connect both with our statewide leaders, but also we have leaders from all over the state who are here for the event, so it's a super opportunity. And we've been very fortunate. We've been very well received by the women from around the state.
Why run for Texas Supreme Court?
Well, it's a very, very important position. And the Supreme Court is deciding some of the most important cases that affect us in our everyday lives. You know, the way the founders designed our system of dual federalism, it really was supposed to be state governments that made most of the rules that affected your daily lives. And the kinds of cases that come to the Supreme Court often are things that affect you the most: family law, property law, probate, and then also the business community. We want businesses coming to Texas, and an important part of that is knowing that we have a good legal climate and that the courts of Texas are competent, will decide cases in a fair and predictable way so people know how to conduct their business.
You are running against an incumbent.
I am.
What is, I guess, the issue that you have with maybe her decisions, with maybe the way she's conducted herself, whatever it may be? Why challenge her?
Sure. Well, I think most people who are concerned about the direction of the country recognize that courts have had a hand in a lot of the bad turns of the law. And so, unfortunately, there are a lot of judges in the country who abuse their position, use their authority as a judge to impose elite values, and under the guise of interpreting a constitution or a statute, will impose laws on us that the people never, ever agreed to and that our representatives never agreed to. We have the same problem in the state courts from time to time, and my opponent has a record. She's just finishing her first term. She is the most frequent dissenter against the conservatives on our court. Over half of her dissenting opinions have been on the subject of how to interpret tort reform statutes. Now, almost everybody I talk to believes that tort reform has been the essential ingredient in what is commonly called the Texas economic miracle. And we've elected Republican legislators who have systematically enacted reforms to improve our legal system, improve our business climate, and make sure that the court system is fair both for business and for citizens. All of that hard work is for naught if the court does not faithfully implement the laws as written by the legislature. My opponent is the only member of the Texas Supreme Court who thinks that these tort reform laws actually are unconstitutional. In two different cases, she was the sole member of the 9-judge court who would have held a tort reform law unconstitutional. I think that's no different from the judges in Washington who legislate from the bench and hide behind the Constitution to impose elite values on us, and that's what she's been doing here.
Visiting with Justice Michael Massengale, running for Texas Supreme Court. Whenever I have judges on, those who are looking to run for that office, it's always interesting to see how they get their name out, because you're running in a time when everyone's paying attention nationally. Everyone's going to be paying attention to who's running out here for Congress. There are a lot of other races above yours. How do you get your name out? How do you get people to recognize that this is an important race?
It's a hard question. You know, it's something that all candidates who come down the ballot have to deal with. People running for things like Railroad Commission, having to explain what that even is.
Right.
I think, like a lot of those races, we depend very heavily on trusted third-party validation, people who are out there, who are known to voters, who are known to represent and fight for the values of ordinary Texas citizens. and they trust the recommendations that they get. So it's very important to me that that conservative groups who voters look to are looking at the race and are making a recommendation in the race, and most importantly, explaining to their followers why they are taking a stand in a race.
Visiting with Justice Michael Massengale. Appreciate you coming out today and coming out to Lubbock during the convention as well. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of you out here.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure to be here.
Tell folks where they can find more information about you.
Sure, I have a website, michaelmassengale.com. I'm on Facebook and on Twitter, mmassengale.
All right.
If they follow you, I'll tweet at you right after this.
There you go. We'll retweet you. And Michael Massengale, appreciate your time today.
Thanks. It's my pleasure.